What's up guys, hope you're having a good day. In this video we're going to be taking a look at our profit and loss over the month of July. We're going to look at the performance on every single type of bet that we have on the site to see what we did good at, what we didn't do so good at, and what we can improve on. Now these monthly profit and loss review videos are kind of like a top level look at the performance on all of our types of bets throughout an entire month. So we won't be going into a lot of detail on each individual bet in this video. If you'd like to get my thoughts on each of the winning bets and each of the losing bets that we had this month, go back to my YouTube channel and just look for like the weekly performance review videos. Like there's one here, I think this is another one. There's also one there as well. So go back, check out those weekly videos, and in the weekly videos that I put out every Monday or Tuesday, that's where I talk about specific bets that we placed like the week before or the Saturday before. I haven't done one of those for last week's card just because I'm quite busy at the moment. We didn't really have that many bets anyway, so there's not that much to talk about, and I kind of feel like I'm covering profit and loss for every event in July in this video anyway, so I just feel like there are better things I could use my time on. But most weeks we will do like a profit and loss performance review video for every single event. I also want to say a big thank you to everyone that has sent me a lot of support this week, man. I was at the beginning of this week I was like really really quite down. Now, man, I am the most motivated I have ever been, and can't wait to hopefully bank a solid profit this weekend at UFC 265, because we do have some really good bets for this weekend. And I'm a little bit behind on my research this week, and a part of that is because of some unforeseen situation that I had to try and dedicate some time to that I didn't see coming, but also because we've got a decent amount of bets this week because there's so many good fights on this card for betting. And so the really detailed breakdown videos that I post to the site just take a little bit of time. So I am a little bit behind this week, which means the breakdown videos have been coming a little bit later than usual. But I think when they do get posted to the site, and they do get, well, the YouTube video gets posted to YouTube, I think that they will be worth the wait. And yeah, next week we've got a week off from UFC, which will kind of enable me to catch up on everything. So it's all good, man. I am loving this card from a betting point of view. I think it's a great card for betting. And after a decent month in July for us, I'm really hoping that we can set ourselves up for a big August as well by banking a profit this weekend. So let's take a look at all the different kind of bets that we had. So we'll start off by taking a look at pre-fight bets. So if we scroll down to the loose betting tips section of the site, we can see that loose bets banked a very small profit in the month of July. Virtually a break-even month. If we do the exact calculation, I think it was just under a unit. So it's going to be 43.64 take away 42.94. Yeah, which gives us an overall profit of 0.7 units. So virtually break-even. But what's very important to me is we're just continuing this really nice steady uptrend, and just consistently grinding out profits every month. Moving in the right direction, just grindy, moving the chains, keeping that profit going. Even though, we didn't make a big profit in loose betting, even though, 0.7 units is nothing to get excited about, I am quite proud of the fact that in a month that was particularly bad for betting, in a month that I know a lot of people took a loss in, we actually didn't lose money. And like I always say, if you can't make money because there are no strong positions for you to put your money, the most important thing is that you don't force bets and lose money. And that was exactly what we did. We didn't have many loose bets throughout the month of July. I feel that every bet that we did have throughout July was a really strong position for us to put our cash. And even though it didn't work out and we ended up at break even, we didn't make a loss. And I think that deserves I think we could give ourselves a little pat on the back for that, because it was a very, very challenging month. And I also feel like we got pretty unlucky. If we look at our loose bets for the month, we had Duplessis to win. He came through for us. We had Dustin Poirier to beat Conor. He came through for us. Jennifer Maia to beat Jessica Ai. That was a nice bet. We then had Jeremy Stevens to beat Mateus Gamrot. That was a loser. And then we had Corey Sandhagen to beat TJ Dillashaw. Now, I don't want to talk about that bet in too much detail because, you know, I've already spoken about it in the in this video here, where I kind of, you know, review our performance from that event and talk about how I felt about the TJ versus Curry decision. But I do feel that this was a really bad decision, and so I do feel we did have quite a bit of bad luck this month with our loose betting results, because if we just bring the numbers up, so we made 1.82 units of profit on Duplessis, 1.82 on Poirier, 1.06 on Maia, which gives us an overall profit of 4.7 units. We lost 2 units on Jeremy Stephens, which takes us to 2.70. But then, obviously, we also lost 2 on Sandhagen, which takes us down to an overall profit of 0.7 units for the month. So that was a 2-unit swing. Had the judges got that fight correct and scored the fight in favour of Sandhagen, we would have banked a 1.2 unit profit for the bet on Sandhagen. Added to the 2.7 units, you know, we made on UFC 264 after subtracting, obviously, the Jeremy Stephens loss. And that would have given us an overall profit if Sandhagen would have won of 3.9 units. So, you know, I do feel we got a little bit unlucky. The Conor McGregor Dustin Poirier event was a great event for betting. We had 3 bets on that card. But then the events that came after were very tough. There weren't many strong positions for us to put our cash. But I do feel we got a little bit unlucky, man. So we went, you know, 3-2 on loose bets for a profit of 0.7 units. But it's really annoying. You know, if the judges would have got that Sandhagen decision correct, we would have gone 4-1 for basically 4 units of profit, which I think would have been, you know, very, very good. And like I say, I'm not going to go into each individual bet in this. I've already spoken about them in great depth. But I still believe Jeremy Stephens was a great bet. And if Stephens and Gamrot fought again this weekend, I'd bet Stephens again. I know a lot of people disagree with that, but I always say that you've got to let the odds do the work for you. And there's just no way that Jeremy Stephens should have been this big of an underdog. There's no way that he should be this big of an underdog against Matthias Gamrot. And so, like I always say, good bets don't always win. Bad bets don't always lose. All you can do is put your money in strong positions and then just hope that the cards fall in your favour. You know, Stephens getting caught in a bad position and submitted very early on before we have a chance to see how any of the advantages Stephens had that we spoke about in the breakdowns, you know, the fight ended too quick for us to see if any of that mattered. And so for me, it was a loss. Not a lot we can do about it. But I think it was a really good bet, so I don't regret that at all. And like I say, if the judges would have got the Sandhagen decision correct, we would have gone 4-1 for 4 units. So loose bets, this nice uptrend continues. And, you know, like I said, we've got a lot of decent bets for this weekend, UFC 265. So I'm hoping that we can set ourselves up for a big August with a nice win on Saturday night. So if we scroll down to the tight bets, we didn't have any tight bets in the month of July, which is a little bit disappointing. So yeah, not a lot to talk about with those. If we scroll down then to even money bets, the even money bets were our best performing or second best performing type of bet behind live bets in July, and even money bets have just been doing absolutely phenomenal. You know, since we had this bad run back towards the end of last year, it's just been a V-shaped recovery, and an absolutely phenomenal uptrend ever since. You know, we've only had one losing month out of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we've only had one losing month out of the last 8, and that was only a 0.4 unit loss. So even money bets are performing tremendously well. And if you don't know, you know, what even money bets are just basically where I pick a winner in every single fight in the even money odds range, which is 1.65 or minus 154 up to 2.30, which is plus 130. The theory being that no matter what mathematical edge that the bookies have, my knowledge of the sport, my fight research, and my ability to gamble effectively will outperform them. And as you can see, over the last 18 months, that's exactly what's happened. And this uptrend, even though obviously you have a little bit of variance in there, very, very strong uptrend, and these even money bets continue to perform absolutely brilliantly. So for the month of July, we made 21. No, we didn't. Sorry, bear with me. We made 4.5 units of profit. So even money bets performing extremely well, and obviously there's a lot of fights coming up this weekend at UFC 265 in that even money odds range. So I'm hoping that we can have another profitable week this week. If we go through all of the even money bets for the month, there were quite a lot. So we had Nico Price to beat Michelle Pereira. That was a little bit unlucky. I think if Price would have started pressuring Pereira a little bit earlier in that second round instead of fishing for takedowns, I think you could have nicked that. I think you could have backdoored that decision. But then we had Duplessis to win, Poirier to win, Aldana to win, Greg Hardy to win, Marion Renault to win, Sergey Morozov to win. A few underdog winners in there. Very, very nice. Then we had Hannah Goldie to win, Macy Barber to win, Darren Elkins to win, Brendan Allen to win, Nozzardine Imavov to win, Philip Rowe to win, Kai Kamaka to win. A little bit unlucky there. Obviously, he would have won without the point deduction. Ryan Benoit to win, Bagdarazian to win, and Ashley Yoder to win. So pretty good set of results. What is, I guess, a little bit annoying about the even money bets is people take them, I think, out of context at times. So a few people contacted me this week saying, like, how could you have said to bet Ashley Yoder to beat Jin Frey? How could you have bet, Ryan Benoit to beat Zaru Gardashev? They got dominated. And I'm like, whoa. Let's slow down a little bit here, okay? Even money bets are bets where it is very difficult to, pick a clear winner with a huge advantage over their opponent. And we're really just going on, maybe specific styles of opponent a certain fighter has faced in the past that they've struggled against, or, we're just trying to lean 60-40 one way or the other to find, what the even money side to be on is. And what you've got to remember is, with these even money bets, we are forcing ourselves to bet on fighters, like Ashley Yoder, like Ryan Benoit, even like Philip Rowe that won, or, Macy Barber. We're betting on ourselves. We're forcing ourselves to bet on fighters like this in fights that we wouldn't usually bet, but we're doing it on the basis of our fight research, right? And leaning 60-40 one way or the other. So what I really don't want you guys to do is start to put so much pressure on even money picks, and pick them apart and tear them apart and all this kind of stuff, because I'm putting just as much effort and just as much research into these bets as our other bets, which we put more money on and more weight on. What you've got to understand is, just because you may not agree with one of these picks, or because one of these fighters performed terribly, doesn't mean that when I sat down and spent an hour or two researching each one of these matchups, the fighter that I picked here was the fighter with the best risk to reward ratio. I stand by that. So just try and be a little bit more chill with the even money bets. We're going for volume, okay? We're going for volume. Don't tear them apart. Don't pick them apart. Don't overanalyze things. Ultimately, no one wants to bet Ashley Yoder, but gun to my head when I've got to pick a fighter in an even money range, if based on my research Yoda's the right side to be on because she's got the best risk to reward ratio, I really do not give a fuck how the fight actually plays out on a Saturday night, because my research taught me she was the right side to be on. So I just want to make that clear, because obviously these even money bets are starting to perform really well now. People are paying a lot of attention to them, and I don't want this to become where people really just overanalyze and tear every single even money bet apart. The reason why these are so successful, and the reason why we've got this strong uptrend, is because they're gun to the head. Who would we go 60-40 on based on the research? And that's literally all it is. And if we can't go 60-40 one way or the other, and we can't decide who should be favoured, and we do agree in the bookies and the general betting public are correct and the fight should be 50-50, take the underdog every time. You know, with little thought, we just take the underdog, and that's exactly what happened in the case of Macy Barber, you know, Darren Elkins, Philip Rowe. You know, this fight could go either way. Going with the underdog, because the underdog carries the better risk to reward ratio. So that's what you got to remember. Okay, so that was even money bets. So great month for even money bets. Really, really happy with the way they performed. And I'm hoping, again, there's loads of even money bets this week. I'm really, really hoping that, you know, they can continue to do this well for us. Okay, so that was it for pre-fight bets. Now let's go and take a look at let's go to the prop bets. Get prop bets out of the way very quickly. It was a pretty dead month for prop bets. Very, very small profit, which is insane because of the number of props that we actually had. So let's take a look. So 32.08 take away 30.58 equals. So we make 1.5 units of profit on props for the month of July, which is absolute fucking insanity when you take a look at how many bets we actually placed to arrive at very close to break even. So look, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 10 bets a page, so there would be 26. So yeah, after 26 bets, we arrived right back at virtually break even, which is nuts. And what's even crazier is obviously we place a very high volume of prop bets, and we've been stuck in kind of like this sideways channel, you know, for a few months now, which is pretty funny because we're placing like 20, 30 prop bets a month, and we just don't seem to be breaking up or breaking down out of this range, which is very unusual because I don't even really consider, you know, what this number is. Not like this number or this you know, profitability channel we're stuck in is like influencing my betting behavior in any way. I don't you know, I really don't consider props. I don't really you know, put any pressure on props to perform because I dislike props myself. So yeah, it's crazy I was stuck in this range, but 1.5 units of profit. So yeah, another bet that's performed well for us in July. So loose bets profit, even money bets profit. Prop bets produced a profit as well. Now let's take a look at the lab bets. So the first type of lab bet that we will discuss is over-unders. So obviously over-unders are our second best performing bet behind live bets in terms of win rate. I think win rate is always the best way to determine the profitability of a bet. I know some people like to calculate ROI. I don't personally like ROI because ROI can be very misleading because, you know, if you have a high ROI but a low win rate, it makes it very difficult to grow that pot of money with compound interest, because obviously every time you take a loss, you have to work your way back up to that point of loss before you can start to get gains. Win rate is very, very important to me because if you can maintain a high win rate, you can snowball profits and use compound interest to grow money very, very quickly. So in terms of win rate, the over-unders are our best performing bet behind live betting. Obviously live betting has the highest win rate, but then, you know, closely followed by over-unders. And it was another profitable month for us. It was a tough month for over-unders. There wasn't a lot that I liked this month. I kept it very, very tight, but we did put a profit in the bank. So we had a profit of 1.32 units, so nothing major. Nice little small profit, but again, keeping this beautiful, you know, beautiful trend going. You know, nice, steady, consistent gains. And again, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We only had one losing month out of the last 9 months. So over-unders are performing, you know, really, really well. And I'm hoping we can dig up some over-unders for this weekend as well. Now, obviously, we're always looking for new, you know, types of, you know, betting experiments to add to the lab. Matern is currently working on, I think, like 10 to 15 new experiments to add, which aren't ready yet because we're going to be rolling out something called Lab 2.0 either the end of this year or early next year, probably in the January break that UFC are going to give us. And Lab 2.0 is basically using historical data to test trends that we use to make bets in present times. We're going to be adding, you know, types of bets to the site that is based on historical data. So, for example, you know, there are certain theories, certain trends that I use to calculate, strong positions and probabilities, or to find strong positions and calculate probabilities. And we've kind of back tested those trends and theories to see how profitable they are. Some of them are, and so we're going to be adding those experimental bets to the site, but with historical data attached to them. So what I'm trying to say is we will have a type of bet that we theorize will be profitable over the long term. But instead of us having a situation like this where we've got a brand new type of lab bet that we've got to build up a profitability chart for, because obviously we've only just started placing bets under that experiment, these new type of lab bets will pull in historical data where we look at, okay, we've got a trend, we've got a theory that if this certain set of circumstances is met, that fighter will win, right? And then we look at their odds in fights, and every fight that falls under those set of criteria over a very long period of time, and we pull that all into a profitability chart to see what the profit and loss would be over the long term. And then from now on we start adding bets in that fall under those criteria. I know it's very confusing, but the Matern is cooking up something really, really special behind the scenes, and I can't wait to bring it to you. But Matern also came up with a great idea for a brand new lab experiment, which we introduced to the site last week, which is why we have literally got no profitability chart here at all. July 2021 was the very first month for it. So obviously over the last 18 months, we've performed really well on over-unders, and we've performed really well on even money bets as well. So in a live stream fight research session last week, Matern was like, why don't we try even money over-unders? And as soon as he said it, I was like, oh my God, that's like literally the best idea I've ever heard. Because we performed pretty well on even money bets, but we performed really, really, really well on over-unders. So by combining the two together, it's very possible that even money over-unders could be tremendously profitable for us. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this new experiment goes. And obviously last week was our first week where we started it. So let's take a look at how we did. So we made an overall profit of an overall loss of 2.2 units. But I actually think, even though we went 2 and 4 and we're down 2.2 units, I actually think we performed really well. So like I always say, good bets don't always win, bad bets don't always lose. And the actual end result of a bet doesn't always tell the full story. So even though we made a loss and went 2 and 4, I actually think we were on the right side for pretty much all these bets. And had things gone slightly differently, we could easily have gone 6 and 0 or 5 and 1. We were very, very close to going, we were very, very close to banking a huge profit here, because we had the under in the Coach versus Philip Rowe fight, that one. We had this one missed wide. This was the one loser that you cannot deny. That bet got decimated. Then we had a loser on Grushmacher versus Garcia. Had the under in that. I feel that was a pretty good bet. The over-under was obviously in the even money odds range. And when you consider Garcia almost finished Grushmacher in round 1, and then Garcia struggled so bad in rounds 2 and 3, definitely feel, based on how that fight played out, that under was the correct side to be on. I know it was a losing bet, but with how chaotic that fight was and how close both guys came to being finished at different times, I feel like the under was the side to be on there. I know the fight went the distance, but it was very, very close to being stopped on more than one occasion. We then had Anglin Bagdarazian not to go the distance. That was a winner. And then again, I feel exactly the same about this under. Very similar to the Grushmacher versus Garcia decision. We went for the under 2.5 rounds in the Barberena Witt fight. Again, how many times did this fight come close to being stopped? In the even money odds range, I feel very strongly that the under was the correct side to be on. I would not have wanted to be on the over in a fight like that. So again, a little bit unlucky with that one. And then this is a clean loss. This is a fair and square loss. Although I will say that Strickland's performance was a little bit frustrating in terms of he did have Hall hurt real bad multiple times in this fight. He was very close to finishing Hall multiple times, but every time he got to the stage where he was this close to finishing Hall, he tried to take him down instead of finishing him off with strikes, which gave Hall time to recover. So again, a fight that could easily have ended inside the distance. So we ended up going 2 and 4 for an overall loss of 2.2 units. But yeah, I think on another night, we could easily have gone 4-2, 5-1, or at worst 3-3. I think we were quite unlucky to go 2-4 on these bets. But anyway, still early days. Really looking forward to seeing how they perform. And I have a sneaky feeling that we're going to do ridiculously good on this experiment over the long term, just because of how well we perform on even money bets and over unders. It only seems logical that we would do very well on these bets as well. So I want to say a big thank you to Matern for cooking up this idea. And like I say, Matern is a very, very good with this kind of stuff. And when Lab 2.0 drops the site, you guys are going to love it. So the final type of pre-fight bet that we've got to look at is the main event picks. Now, this is the only type of bet on our website which is not profitable, and it falls under kind of like the same rules as the even money bets, right, where I'm forced to place bets, but in this type of experiment, I'm forced to pick a winner and bet a winner in every single main event fight. So this is the only type of bet which is not profitable. Don't call it a comeback, but we are grinding our way back up. And even though this experiment has not produced a profit over the last 18 months, I do want to keep it going. I've got to research main events anyway, so I may as well keep it going. And from my perspective, we are only down like 12 units, which isn't it's nothing really. This might just be variance. Maybe it isn't. Maybe I'll never be able to be profitable betting main event picks, but I am optimistic I can turn this around. And so I'm going to keep it going for a little bit, and I am starting to turn things around. But obviously, this type of bet has not been performing well, although it did perform well last month. We had Poirier, Makachev, Sandhagen, and Strickland, so we're very, very close to going 4-0 on these type of bets had the judges got that Sandhagen decision correct. So then the final type of bet that we've got to look at is live bets. Where are we? No, let's go to results. So obviously, I don't like sharing the exact live bets that we ever have, just because obviously live betting is extremely profitable for us. It's where I make the bulk of my money. Without live betting, my life would not be as comfortable as it is. And so I am very protective over live betting and what we do, and because of that, I don't like sharing what live bets we have, just because we've read online all the different tactics the betting sites use to shut down profitable players. I've got plenty of videos on my website about this. The very first video that you see as you come onto my website is me talking about this. Obviously, if you consistently make money betting on MMA, websites will shut you down. We know this, betting sites will shut you down, and so I just don't like to give betting sites any opportunity to make life difficult for us, for me, for my members. And so by not sharing what live bets we have, it makes it difficult for them to track people down in the group, because obviously if they knew what bets we were placing, roughly what odds we were placing them at, they'd maybe be able to calculate who placed those combination of bets at those times at those odds, find people's accounts, and restrict them from being able to bet. So that's why I don't share actual details of our live bets in my results, and I hope you guys understand that. But it was a brilliant month for us in live betting. As you can see, this is the most beautiful chart that you're ever going to see. Nice, steady, consistent profits almost every month. We very, very rarely have a losing month in live betting. And, last month was one of our biggest months in a while. So we banked a profit of 509.56, take away 497. Oh, I fucked it. Sorry, boys. 509.56. Take away 497.95 equals. We made a profit of 11.61 units. Now I know profit and loss in live betting is always going to be approximate. It depends on how many of the bets you could get in on, what the max bet limits were, what websites you had access to, what odds you got in at. This profit and loss is approximate, but really this is just a guide to show people how we're doing. And whatever number you ended up on, however much profit you made in July, you definitely made a good profit. Like, it doesn't matter what the number was, you did well in July. And that's really just what this number and this profitability chart represents. So we did make a profit on every single event. I had a couple of big winning nights on that Dillashaw Sandhagen card in UFC 264, and hopefully we can have another big night this weekend at UFC 265. So on the whole, July went really, really well for us. Made a profit on basically everything. Yeah, we did. We made a profit on everything. Every kind of bet was profitable. Apart from, we can't really include even money over unders yet. They only started last week. We didn't have a full month of bets from. Maybe if we would have started at the beginning of July, we wouldn't have made a loss. But yeah, very, very happy, man. July went great for us, which is, we got to give ourselves a pat on the back. July was a tough month. A lot of fights to get through, but we worked really hard. And despite the fact that, I believe 3 of the events in July were very challenging to make money on, despite this, we did move the chains. We did consistently grind out profits. We did work hard. And I strongly believe that we put our money in some really, 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 really strong positions, and it's paid off. It wasn't a huge month. It was a huge month for live betting. For pre-fight bets, it wasn't a huge month. But we are moving the chains and grinding out profits, and that's the main thing. So this week, we get back into UFC 265. It's a brand new month, and we've got 3 big UFC events this month for us to get our teeth into and hopefully print another profit on this profitability chart, on all these profitability charts, and continue this great 2021 that we're having. So I really want to say thanks for all your support. Thank you so much for watching this. I will get back in the trenches now, jump right back into fight research, and keep digging for more strong positions for us to put our cash this weekend. And like I say, all you can do is put your money in strong positions and hope for the best. And that's what we do. If you do that, you will consistently make profits, and these profitability charts show that. So thanks for watching, everyone. Take care. Love you guys. I'll see you very soon. Nice one.